Okay, Chuck Wilson, New Hope Community Church, Connecting the Dots. We just had our group Connecting the Dots on Sunday night, and we meet every other Sunday night, and it's just amazing. We just take Daniel, Revelation, and apply what's happening in the world. And I just want to run down a few of the things I shared with the group because the title for this is God's Prophetic Clock Just Keeps Ticking. It's amazing what's happening. First of all, Gaza's bin Laden, Hamas leader Sinwar, killed in Gaza. Huge event. Huge event. Pope Francis slams world's shameful inability to stop the Israel-Hamas war. Sounds great, right? Till you read a little bit more. And remember Daniel, Revelation, the false prophet. We know who that's going to be. It's got to be an apostate pope. Nobody else could do this. It has to be an apostate pope that is helping the Antichrist. But listen to what he says. Pope Francis criticized on Monday what he called the shameful inability of the international community to end the war in the Middle East 1 year after Hamas' devastating attack on Israel. It seems that few people care about what is most needed and what is most desired, dialogue and peace, he said. Violence never brings peace. History proves this, yet years and years of conflict seem to have taught us nothing. He has spoken more openly in recent weeks about the Hamas-Israel conflict and has become more vocal in his criticism of Israel's military campaign. He's speaking about Israel. Why won't the world converge on Israel and stop them from doing what they're doing? Sounds a lot like Armageddon. It's going to happen. He called Israel's action in Lebanon unacceptable and urged the international community to do everything possible to halt the fighting. How about the hundreds of missiles being fired every day into Israel from Lebanon? Doesn't say anything about that. Oh no, it's all Israel shooting back. That's the problem. In his letter on Monday, Francis directly addressed Gazans. I am with you. The people of Gaza, long embattled in dire straits, you are in my thoughts and prayers daily. Listen, we feel bad about what's happening to people there, but they're sheltering the terrorists. They're supporting them. 90% of the Gazans support Hamas. They're letting them build their bunkers underneath schools and underneath their own houses. And listen, I feel horrible about what's happening to women and children. But the issue is not Israel. The issue is Gaza and Hamas and now Hezbollah and Lebanon. Unbelievable. But they're all turning on Israel. Here we go. Russia calls on BRICS partners to create alternative to IMF. Here we go. This week, Russia, which chairs the BRICS group this year, has called partners to create an alternative to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, to create counter political pressure from Western nations ahead of the BRICS summit, which is this week. It's originally comprised Brazil, Russia, India, and China has expanded to include South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia. Unbelievable. And they're meeting in Moscow this week, in fact, starting tomorrow. The 20th. By the time you watch this, it'll be passed. Russia finance minister who is hosting the meeting said the financial system is controlled by Western countries and that this group, which is 37% of the global economy, almost 40%, needs to create an alternative. And you know what this means. It's going to happen. Biblically, we know it's going to happen. The dollar will be replaced. This could be the first step to fracture the dollar, and then there'll be a one world currency at some point. And when that happens, the United States dominoes will fall. Our $35 trillion debt will crush us. Just look at what happened to the UK after World War II. All right, here we go. Moscow expands ties with Tehran as Israel weighs retaliatory strike on Iran. So we see that, well, I'm not going to read it all, but Moscow and Russia and Iran are forming closer ties because they're getting ready for this attack from Israel, and that once again plays right into Ezekiel 38 and 39. Calls for intervention. Will Iran send forces to aid Hezbollah against Israel? Sooner or later they will. Iran, it's all converging. You have Russia, you have Iran thinking about coming to help Hezbollah in Lebanon. It's all converging. Turkey has become very hostile to Israel and the United States. It's all converging. Ezekiel 38 and 39, God's prophetic time clock keeps ticking. Pay attention. Make sure you listen to the past ones because I set all this up, but this is just kind of review and showing how it's building. The momentum is building. U.S. threatens Israel with arms embargo over Gaza aid. So we're threatening it. We're not threatening Gaza with the continued terrorism. We're threatening Israel. It's just mind-boggling. We're behind Israel. Oh, stab them in the back. It keeps happening. Oh, unbelievable. Vice President Harris confused about whether Israel is our ally. They asked her in an interview, 60 Minutes, they said, do we have a close ally in Prime Minister Netanyahu? To this, Harris responded, I think with all due respect, the better question is, I think she probably laughed right about that, but I'm sorry. The better question is, do we have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people? And the answer to that question is yes. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. It's like how we treat Iran. We're not against the Iranian people. We're against the regime of Iran. It's just, that's a crazy answer. And as one of the critics said, that's another way of saying no. I never thought I would see someone running for president say something like this. This should automatically disqualify her even from running, declared Representative Mark Alford, Republican, Montana. He said it's totally disgusting that creates doubt and uncertainty between our countries. That's exactly what it's doing, and it's going to happen. It's in the Bible. The United States will turn on Israel at some point or will be fractured so that we can't help them. One way or another, they're going to stand alone, and only one person's going to come and help them, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Rockets target major cities in northern Israel. U.S. calls, so here it is. This is the Jerusalem Post. Rockets target major cities in northern Israel, U.S. calls on Israel to engage in diplomacy with Lebanon. They're shooting rockets, and we say, stop shooting back. Just let's be diplomacy. Like we would do, right? Remember after 9/11? Towers come down? We were very diplomatic with Afghan and Iraq. Afghanistan and Iraq, right? Unbelievable. And meanwhile, the European Union won't pull back UN troops from South Lebanon. They have UN peacekeepers that just happen to be located right next to where there's tunnels going down for Hezbollah into Israel. They've been uncovered this week. It's unbelievable. Many of the UN peacekeepers were actually helping the terrorists during this whole time. It's all been exposed. I don't even want to go into it. But now some of the peacekeepers are getting hurt in the fighting because as Israel shoots at the terrorists, they're hitting some UN peacekeepers because they're working together. But so Israel said, please, UN, leave Lebanon. We don't want to hurt any more UN peacekeepers. But the European Union says, no, we're staying there. Why is it significant? The European Union is going to converge and transform into the revived Roman Empire, Antichrist ahead of it, and they're going to come after Israel full steam. All right? So we see God's prophetic time clock just keep ticking. Keep reading news. Keep paying attention. We should not be caught unaware or off guard. We shouldn't be, 1 Thessalonians 5:1-4, but you, brothers, are not in darkness so that this day should surprise you like a thief. The day of the Lord should not surprise us. We should see it coming. See it coming. The rest of the world's freaking out. They don't know what's going on, but we have peace because we know that the day of the Lord is coming, and we know who's coming with it. Jesus Christ is the Lord coming on that day of the Lord. See you next time.